Hey everyone, how's it going today? And welcome back to another second stimulus check and second stimulus package update. So we do have breaking news, and that is that the brand new HEROES Act has officially come out. My personal first impression, I personally think that it is amazing. And however, with that being said, the only thing is that sometimes when it comes to the world of stimulus checks and stimulus proposal and unemployment benefits, the more amazing it is, the generally harder it will probably be to pass, because as we personally know, especially inside of the Senate, they don't always really want to give out as much money, so sometimes the more generous it actually is, the more hesitant they are to pass. Maybe smash the like button to help support this channel, and if we're hopefully maybe on the same exact page, and also in light of this great news to share. But basically, the agenda is that in today's video, I'm going to be basically doing a breakdown about all of the different parts within the brand new HEROES Act that you guys have to know, and I'll probably end this with my personal thoughts. But as you're watching, feel free to comment any questions, thoughts of anything at all, especially whether or not you guys think that this HEROES Act is actually going to manage to pass by the very end of this video. So definitely watch through so you guys can get all of the details about that. But as always, remember to smash the like button because it does really help support this channel, and consider subscribing and hitting the bell for future updates on stimulus checks and stimulus package, and then also other finance topics where we need a little bit of a shift from that. Okay, let's get this video started right now. So to start right away, the brand new HEROES Act is going to be priced at $2.2 trillion, which is right around the perfect balance between the original HEROES Act that was basically around $3 trillion, and then of course also the HEALS Act, which is only about $1 trillion, and actually even a step up above the bipartisan proposal, which by the way, I did make one video about the bipartisan, so if you are brand new here, definitely check out that video, and I'll put it at the thumb screen at the very end, because this is probably going to be one of these proposals, if one of them passes. If it's either going to be the mini HEROES Act that we're talking about, or maybe the bipartisan's proposal. But basically, the $1,200 stimulus check is basically back. So that is the great news, is that the exact rules are basically almost exactly the same as last time. It's going to be $1,200 stimulus check to almost every single person who of course meets the requirement and makes under, I believe it was like a $75,000 threshold. If you qualified for the first stimulus check, you should qualify for the second stimulus check. That's the easy way to put it. And then for dependent, it's going to be $500 as usual, as like last time. I do believe though that they are extending this so that even adult dependents can actually also get it, and college students as well. So that is one bright news. This brand new HEROES Act is also going to bring back the legendary $600 unemployment benefits boost extension that all of us that were on unemployment, which I believe was about 60 million people that literally applied, as if you've been watching past videos as we've mentioned. But basically, it's going to potentially bring back the legendary $600 unemployment benefits boost extension that we got to enjoy if we were unemployed from the very end of March all the way through the very end of July. And on top of that, the great news is that this unemployment benefits for $600 boost is also going to be retroactive all the way back to, I believe, about September 6th. So all of those days that we basically picked up, that we basically got the FEMA unemployment, which I'm going to be making another future video update, so subscribe if you are on unemployment for that. But basically, it's going to pick up right where the FEMA unemployment program left off, which was basically the $300, which is right around like the middle part of September, and it's going to continue with retroactive all the way until the beginning in 2021, which I personally think is amazing. And the unemployment benefits boost extension for $600 will also apply to self-employed workers and gig workers, very similar to the original CARES Act that was passed way back in March. Unfortunately, one part that is actually not going to be in this brand new HEROES Act is actually hazard pay, and I don't believe they mentioned anything about hazard pay or essential workers, so that part, sorry to say, but they did have it in the original HEROES Act. But of course the Senate, if there's anyone to place maybe some level of blame. The Senate didn't want to pass the original HEROES Act, so this brand new HEROES Act, they had to basically cut out pay for hazard workers and essential workers. And then really the rest of this package is really just specific funding for all sorts of different specific industries. So they are pretty helpful depending on what kind of industry you are. However, a lot of these like parts of the rest of this stimulus package does apply to a lot of the industries that were hit very, very hard. So if you do happen to be unemployed or have been working in some kind of industry, it probably does apply to you because it is a part that's going to potentially keep certain industries alive. I'll actually just try to throw out this summary right here, and I'll run through this like super fast. So it's basically going to provide $436 billion to states and cities, which is different and a drop down from the $900 billion from the original HEROES Act. This is basically to help give funding to states and cities for their programs. It does include the SBA PPP loan for small businesses. It's going to be $25 billion funding for airlines. So this is very, very good because, as some of you guys may or may not have known, the airline industry was planning to lay off thousands and thousands, possibly something into like the six-figure number of workers by basically around the first half of October. It's going to provide $120 billion for restaurants, so for anyone that's a waiter, a bartender, or works in that industry. $225 billion for education, and then within that specifically, I think the breakdown is $182 billion for kindergarten to 12th grade schools, and then $38 billion for post-secondary education, and they're also giving $57 billion for family and child support. The rest of it really is just money to like a whole bunch of different programs, so that includes once again school, human resources, health, pandemic research, social programs, we mentioned, but restaurants, transportation, military, post office. So the post office is very, very big, and actually also FEMA. Okay, and why that's important is because FEMA was what, again, as we've mentioned in past videos, that was what basically helped support the $300/$400 unemployment benefits boost extension. FEMA was the reason we were able to get that extra $1,500 to $1,800. Well, for most of us that have already been approved. If you guys are still waiting, hang in there. But FEMA basically helped to support that unemployment program, and they're finally getting more funding. So if something were to pop up, they at least now have their money back in return. I believe there's going to be $75 billion for the pandemic testing. They are going to be increasing SNAP benefits, so that's for food stamps, by about 15%. And then a lot of it is about like preserving different things, so trying to keep like workers who are already working employed, increasing like work safety measures with OSHA, and then preserving health coverage so that people can keep their jobs, keep their health coverage, and all sorts of different programs. Now, the part that in terms of what makes this particular stimulus package cheaper compared to the original HEROES Act, and where did they save that money? The part that they saved the money and they really were able to take the price down, first was state and local aid. They took it from $916 billion to $436 billion. So it's about $480 billion cheaper. Hazard pay was once again sadly taken out. It was originally, I think, going to be $190 billion, giving every essential worker, hazard person, especially if you're working in the healthcare industry, a boost, but that's what happened. I think they reduced funding to hospitals by about $100 billion. There is funding for homeowners. I think that went down from $75 billion to $21 billion. And then also the post office, which basically went down from $25 billion to $15 billion. So that's basically the rundown of the entire HEROES Act. Now, to end this with my personal thoughts about it, which, by the way, feel free to comment down any personal thoughts as well and whether or not you guys think this is going to pass, but my personal thoughts about it is that personally, I think it's an amazing package. I do feel, if I had to say, is I feel like if this package was proposed about a month ago, I don't think it's going to manage to pass the Senate, and especially because of the $600 unemployment part, because as we know, the Senate really, the Senate Republicans really wants to push people to try to go back to work, even if the conditions are kind of dangerous, especially with the pandemic coming back again. However, with that being said, I do say one thing though, is I think that because we are so close to the election at this point, literally under 6 weeks away, which, by the way, check out the presidential debate tonight at 9 p.m. or if you're watching this after the president, there's going to be like three presidential debates and one VP. I believe it's at 9 p.m. So definitely check out for that, even if you're watching into the future. But the idea is that I feel like there may be a chance, and I know that Pelosi feels confident it's gonna somehow go through, but I feel like there may be a chance that out of image-based reasons, the Senate Republicans, for the sake of preserving their image to make the people happy, because at this point, I think it's fair to say, there's a lot of people that do not like the Senate Republicans because they did block a lot of proposals at the end of the day. After all, they are one of the reasons that it's taken so long, and many of them, their position is up for re-election. So this is potentially the chance to change so much about it. And I think that it's going to add added pressure to maybe just get them to just do it anyway. So my personal thoughts is I think that this package, I don't feel like the Senate Republicans are going to want to pass this because, again, they didn't even want to pass the first HEROES Act. However, there is a chance maybe it might, the fact that their positions are on the line, the fact that they're maybe just tired at this point and they just want to pass something and move on, and the fact that once again everyone is in agreement about the stimulus checks and the unemployment benefits boost extension, and the fact that the election is about 6 weeks away, maybe they will change up their priorities and finally pass it. But we won't really know until basically the end of this week possibly. So that is going to be also why I kind of mentioned in my last video, this is a very epic week, and in fact I'd even say an epic next couple of weeks. But that's my personal thoughts. Remember to smash the like button if you haven't done so already. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification for future updates on stimulus checks, especially on the unemployment benefits boost extension, because I know there's a lot of us here that are going through that. And then again, feel free to comment any questions, thoughts about anything at all, and whether or not you guys think it's going to pass, or what you guys think is basically going to happen in the coming days or really the week, and also whether or not you guys think it's going to pass before election day or even get delivered before election day, because it might pass before election day but not really get delivered until then. But that is what we're going to be keeping updates about. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope everyone stays safe, stay well, hoping for the best, because again, we are all in this together at the end of the day. This is either going to be something that lifts all of us up and puts money in our pocket, or it's going to continue to push time over and over. But thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you again.